Ahmed Haggag. I am working as a Kubernetes and DevOps engineer. Today I'm going to show you how to configure NFS-based persistent volume in your Kubernetes cluster or OpenShift cluster. But before we start, let's have a quick overview. Why do we need such a solution? Simply because it's recommended to place your pod's data into some persistent volume. So if you delete or terminate your pod or deployment, you still have your data. We are going to use NFS Persistent Volume inside our pod or our deployment. I'm going to use NFS server and one cluster with one master node and 3 worker nodes. As you can see here, here is my nodes, one master node and 3 worker nodes. We only need 3 steps. First step, to create a PV, NFS PV based PV. Second step, to create persistent volume claim, and last step, to use your NFS persistent volume inside your pod. In this video, I'm going to use this link. It's already here. So actually, it's a proof of concept how to manage your storage, your Kubernetes, or manage storage in your Kubernetes cluster. That's what we need here. It's a direct NFS. So let's open this one. We'll find here 3 YAML file. First YAML file we are going to use, it's NFS PV. So we need to copy this one. It is nothing, but it's here, it's only creating persistent volume. So you have your persistent volume name here and your capacity and your access mode, it's read write many, and here my NFS information. In your case, you need to replace this with your NFS server details. So I will copy this here. I will create NFS PV.yaml. I already have it here, which is good. Let's create it. Okay, it's telling me persistent volume with name NFS test PV is created. Let's check. Now it's created with capacity 1 giga and access modes, it's read write many. And here, if you notice that status is available and the claim is free, because we don't have persistent volume claim yet, which is our second step. Let's create this PVC. So I will just copy this file. It is the same. We have here the name of our PVC. We have our access mode. It should be the same like what we have in our PV. So if it was, let's say, read write once, it should be read write once, but in our case it was read write many while we creating our PV, so it should be read write many. And here is the storage capacity or our request. So let's copy this and run it. NFS PVC YAML, it's here. So I'm going to save and run this. Now it's created our PVC. Let's check it. Okay, as you can see, status is bound and access mode is read volume. Let's check the persistent volume now. So the status is changed from available to bound, and the claim now in our default namespace with our PVC claim. So the last step is to create our pod and using NFS inside it. Here is our pod YAML. We have a container here with its nginx image, and we have our volume mounts. To make it easy, I just added /mnt/data, but in real scenarios, it should be, let's say, nginx root directory. And the most important here, the name of our persistent volume claim, it should be the same name while we created our PVC. So if we check our PVC, it was NFS PVC claim, and it's here NFS PVC claim, so we are fine. In that case, we can copy this, it's here, and we make sure everything is okay and save. Let's create it. Now our pod with name NFS pod is created. Let's check the status. Okay, it's running. Now let's test our NFS. So in order to do that, we need to execute kubectl execute our pod. I forgot the options here. Okay, let's do df. As you can see, we have our NFS server, and that's our volume mount. Let's create some data here. Let's cd this and touch some empty files, which is enough to test our NFS. Okay, I have created 10 empty files. We check here. Okay, so in that case, we can exit and we can delete our pod. In that case, we lost our pod, and we need to make sure we still have our data somewhere. So in that case, it should be in our NFS server. Let's move to our NFS server to check. That's our NFS server. Okay, and that's our NFS share. If we go here and we do list, we will find our files here. So if you want to create a new pod or new deployment, you can mount your PVC inside your pod, or you can mount your NFS persistent volume inside your pod, and you still have your data. I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you later in another videos.